Competitive price is another price related function, but this time it's not your price. Amazon has another field based on what your competitors are selling it at, and it's going to give you a range or a number for what they consider to be competitive. Now, before I get started, as usual, make sure that the add-on is installed, that it's been activated, that you've used your subscription ID. If the ID does not save for whatever reason, make sure you do it in incognito mode because Google is caching your drive. Also, inside your Gorilla ROI account, make sure you add your seller store nickname. It just makes it easier on the formulas. And if you're in Europe or in a Spanish-speaking country, when you do the formula, use semicolon instead of comma, because those are the three things that usually trips up a lot of people. So let's get started. I've already listed up the SKUs in this particular seller account called Test Seller 2. It's a demo account. The store nickname is called Test Seller 2. I'm going to actually change this to ASIN list. And when that's loaded, or while that's loading, I can actually just type in Gorilla underscore competitive price, and then it'll show you this one. I'm just going to click it, competitive price. The first option is to select your seller nickname rather than just typing in, say, like a long seller ID from Amazon, which looks something like that, which you probably won't be able to remember. That's why we suggest you to use a nickname. I'm going to click on E1, which is the cell, and that way later on, if I want to change my store nickname from, say, Test Seller 2 to Sock Store or Bike Handlebars or something like this, then it's going to automatically update all of the formulas rather than me having to go in and update every single formula manually. The next one is to select the SKU. This one, there's two ways that you can do it. If you just want to get the price only, then just drag it from the top to the bottom. So if you have 1000 SKUs, do like A2 down to A1000. And then you can close this formula and it will now show you the direct competitive price. And that's the easiest way that you can use it. And that's also a lot of ways that most people will use it, right? But what I've come across is that people will tend to, rather than selecting a range, they'll just click on one SKU or one ASIN. The formula will load one data point, and then they drag this down like 1,000 times, which uses up 1,000 of your quota that Google gives you. So rather than doing it like that, and it gives me an error because I didn't lock in the reference. So if you look at here, the one that gives the error, it's trying to find the seller nickname inside E2, which is empty. So if I lock, okay, get this out of there. Okay, if I lock in the position by hitting F4, it's going to put in some dollar signs. And now if I drag it, you'll see that the values will show up, but it also is going to take 10 times longer than if I just did a single range, A2 to A17, whatever it is. There you go. So make sure you use ranges inside your formula. The times when you do not use a range is if you want to use this formula to see some more line items and see some more details. And this is what I mean. I'm going to delete this so that I only do it for this one SKU, one ASIN, comma, and I'm going to skip marketplace because it's just going to load US and it's self-explanatory. The return style, I want to list it as full with header. And now what you'll see is that for this one ASIN, there's multiple different prices available, right? Competitive prices, one for new, one for mint, one for very good. And because each of these conditions has a different competitive price to it, by default, we load the new price. But if you're wanting to see what other competitive prices there are, you have to select just one ASIN instead of a range. Otherwise, if I did this, A2 to A17, and then still had the full width header available, it's just going to default and show you the price for the new one. So that's the only caveat to understand, and to see the detail, just use one.